2 weeks ago we had advertising week, and there were lots of different issues covered. And I had a question about whether you think that campaigns are on their way out. The notion or the concept of a campaign, is it over? And what comes after that?
I don't think so. I don't think the campaign is dead. I don't think advertising is dead. I think over time we've always seen our industry go through evolutions, and they're not revolutions necessarily, although we can be provocative and say many of them have been. But it's just it's a marathon, not a sprint. And the changes that are going on are right for the times. They're right for the technology. They're right for the channels that consumers use. And so I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing an industry where maybe the 30-second spot is challenged and the banner is challenged. But the idea of connecting with consumers is not challenged at all. It's actually reinforced by the amount of options that are available to a marketer.
Right, but you're challenged more and more increasingly to engage with consumers across multiple screens, different devices, how to measure that, and to really create an always-on presence for your brand marketer clients.
Well,
how do you view that?
Yeah, I think the word that you use, challenged, is absolutely right. While the campaign's not dead and advertising's not dead, the amount of options we have available to us has actually made things extremely sophisticated, but also really complex. So there's more things that we can do now than we've ever been able to do before, but just that paradox of choice is so challenging. So we have, at this point, not only the ability to, but probably in a lot of cases the need or the responsibility to not just create advertising in its very mature clusters and formats of what we've done before, but we have to think outside the box. We have to think about, there's not just digital and television, but within digital, we've got different types of formats, whether it be display or text or video. Within display, let's say, we've got native and we've got regular banners. We've got interactivity and not. And then of course, there's this whole idea of content versus advertising. And I think overall, it's okay that we're having this debate about what's content and what's advertising, because only 5 years ago or so, there were many professionals in our business, people who were paid good deals of money, who couldn't even give a definition for content. And so now, if we're having a hard time just with the discrepancy of what advertising versus content is, I think that's actually the point. We should be having that conversation because that line should be blurring. Advertising should be entertaining and or informing, but it needs to be complementary to what people need and what they see, as opposed to something that's interruptive.
What are a couple of the top things that you're working on, one or two things that are really that are in front of you right now that are your most significant challenges?
So we're an agency that goes around the idea of adaptive marketing, and the definition of adaptive marketing is real-time insights that drive real-time actions. And in order to really recognize the opportunity of real-time insights into actions, we can't do that alone. And so one of the biggest challenges we have right now are identifying the partners that are able to help us with the plumbing to make that work. So where are we getting all of those insights from? And actually that's not much of a challenge. A bigger challenge on the insight side is how do we actually cull it down and only use certain insight partners, because there's just so much of it available to us. On the other side is the action side, and that's the idea of how do we do media optimization in real time, or creative optimization, or content optimization. And there are a lot of companies in that space at this point, but there's still a wide divide between the most efficacious ones and the ones that might not be. And we're trying to identify all of that right now. At the end of the day, programmatic is one element of our business, but the idea of making actions a reality go beyond programmatic into something that we call automating intelligence. How do you take that data and push it through pipes so that you can hit people with the right message or content in the right moments.